So not for nothing, this is the first time I've actually made this observation. Ayato looks a lot like Akumi from Infinite Rivals. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with, well, the final episode of RahXephon as a show. Now, obviously there is other stuff after we finish RahXephon to go over, like, I don't know what they are. I got something here called Memory and Interlude. There's also a movie, which I probably will be doing at some point. I think I mentioned this earlier in one of my previous recordings. Actually, I probably mentioned this in a pre-stream recording, because again, I'm doing this live on my normal solo day recording stuff. So I guess I'll put this out here too, because this will probably get aired before that date. So if you are interested, sometime in the middle of this month, I am going to be doing an extra stream on top of my weekly solo streams, where I'm going to be covering a couple of the movies that I have listed to do in the month. Like we recently are, well, not recently. Well, by the time this airs, it'll probably be recently. We'll have finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I intend to watch the Full Metal Alchemist movie that came out after Brotherhood finished, The Sacred Star of Milos. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. The RahXephon movie I'll do on that same day, and the Dalos movie, because I just finished watching Dalos, the original first OVA, and I plan to watch the movie version of that as well. So somewhere in the middle of March, I will be having an extra streaming day to watch those three movies here. So with anybody that wants to join and hears this watching RahXephon, there will be that. It'll be posted on the schedule. One of the schedules. So keep an eye out. That said, though, before anything else, though, just wanted to thank Yuki Alley for once again sponsoring this entire series. I apologize that we couldn't keep Griffin for the entire way through. I thought that was going to be the real reward of the series, was to show Griffin this for the first time and have him react to the major twists, as well as the one of the greatest episodes of anime. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep him through, so you've had to deal with me, and I apologize for that. I'm hoping you at least appreciate my dogged diligence towards making sure the entire thing got watched. If you have any other commentary you want to throw at me before we get finished, because again, as I just indicated, we have multiple other things to cover. So long as you're willing to have me cover them, I'm here for you, Yuki Alley. Ever your servant, Yuki Alley. Sorry. Otherwise, yeah, I don't really know where to go with this episode, because, sorry, this might be my bad memory. As per, well, we just recently covered, what was it? I have the board already up, and I was already indicating how this is one of my original boards. That's how far back we've gone, and how badly designed I have it. You know, black background, blue character name text, so that no matter where you are, you can't read it. Anyway, Ayato has merged with the Zephon, essentially. So he's no longer human, and he had that whole goodbye scene, and we had, what was it, not Megumi, was it Kim? Was it Kim who was very pissed off because basically when Ayato merged with the Zephon, he decided to fucking kill everyone in the area? Like, there was like explosions and energy released that killed Sachuichi here. Soichi. Sorry, I don't know why I added word. That's the thing I do a lot, is I add words to people's names because I don't know how to pronounce them, and for some reason my brain thinks add a couple more UICH sounds. That'll fix it. Anyway, killed him, and she shoots bullets into him, and he just like super regenerates because he's like friggin' immortal now. I know Quan is on her way, not on her way, but set up to do something about this. Like, I think she's gonna try and merge with Ayato. I think that's the implication. See, here's the thing. Early on in the series, I was good for this shit. Like, I was really on the ball. And I know some of you out there are like, didn't you say you watched this show before? That's like saying, I was really on the ball. But I mean, even the stuff I didn't remember, I could really figure out what was happening with, like, the whole people going missing, the whole timescape thing that was happening, the whole Mu Blue Blood relationship to Ayato. I could figure it all out. The character relationships I could figure out. Even, sorry, I forgot her name here. If we want to use her name, Reika, Zephon, Reika, whatever we want to call her. I could even figure her stuff out. But here at the end, it's really just boggling the mind. And I really need the show to spell it out for me. Like, I don't really remember Maya's end goal. Like, I understand these two. Like, I appreciate that Miwa here at least became disillusioned right before the very end, saw it coming, but then put on the helmet anyway, whatever. This dude was just a dick the whole way through. He sold out humanity, as it were. But, yeah, the overarching end plot when it comes to Quan and Ayato, that's where I'm a bit lost on, and I'm really hoping that the last episode is going to, like, literally spell it out for me. Because otherwise, without some help, I am going to be lost. I'm just put that out there right now. I have repeatedly made the call for the comment section to help me out. Has not happened. So take that for what you will. You current viewer, you future viewer, you past viewer. Know that I still read the comments no matter what. I'm still reading Made in Abyss comments. I am reading Sabaki Bisco comments. I am reading comments from back when we were a tabletop channel. So, no matter when you make a comment in the future, know that I'm still going to read it. And even if I'm done with the show, it will still help me to parse things together. Especially if I ever have to talk about it again. I'll be thinking to myself, wait a second, a commenter said this about this. I can remember that, and now I'll know. So, it's never too late to help me out, even if it seems like I'm done. Your comments will not fall into the void. They will be read, at the very least. That said, I think the only thing to do is to move forwards, hop on in, and see what we get. I'm guessing this is Quan? Quan we're hearing? Nope, nope, guess completely wrong. Yeah, it's real slap in the face to Megumi, the person who's lost him the entire time. That'd be yeah. Legitimately, she already lost him once, went back and found him again. Lost him again, went back and found him again. Ah, sad for Megumi. I assume she's gonna cry. Yeah. Again, it's just fucking sad for Megumi. But again, though, this is like the third time she's got to go find her. I mean, him. So, not for nothing, this is the first time I've actually made this observation. Ayato looks a lot like Akumi from Infinite Rivas. Which makes me think that maybe these two shows had a similar art director. Or the same art director. Well, here we go with the whole Ayato Kwan thing that I said I wasn't going to understand. Alright. We're using a metaphysical landscape to represent a actual physical battleground. So didn't we already get shot down here? Or did he just walk in last episode and I'm misremembering? No, I'm sorry, the other guy got shot to death. What the fuck? She's been crazy in love with him the whole fucking time, and she's the one that kills him? Hey, she's just been getting crazier and crazier as the show went on. Thank God you weren't a fan of John Lennon. I don't get the representation of seeing Quan in the reflection. Unless everything he was saying was meant for Quan and not her, but it applied to her. Oh. Was she one of those girls? No, she wasn't one of those girls. I don't know what this means. I mean, might as well. Speaking of bluebirds. Sorry, I never realized that the Mu mothership had cup holders. She's a trained pilot after all. Not exactly sure what she could do here. She is a trained pilot.
分かってるさ。僕はいつも逃げてきた。知ることが怖くて、周りから自分から逃げてきたんだ。嫌いだったんだ。
I think he's run away like 4 times in this show.
今となっては誰ともわからない。こんな自分が
受け入れなさい。自分を、他人を、周りを、世界を感じて、そして受け入れるの。
僕が？
そう、あなたがあなた自身を、そして私を、周りのすべてを、勇気を持って。
Again, I can't remember what Kwan's ultimate goal here is. Unless it's like unity. Unity towards godhood. Maybe, was that it? That sounds right.
もう逃げない。逃げたくない。
あなたにその気持ちがあるのなら。
でも、どうしたらいいんだ？
大丈夫。私に任せて。
わかった。
その代わり、優しくしてね。
I can't remember the last movie, TV show, any piece of media where someone said, "Be gentle, okay?" and something turned out good. Fuck. And don't so much care about that other one. The first one, though, I actually liked that character.
今、誰かいなかった？
Yeah, the woman who loved you that you just fucking killed.
忘れた音を探す。そのために、あなたに真実を見せてあげる。
それ、前にも誰かに言われた気がする。
Jesus Christ. See, I was always hoping for like a good end for that character. And knowing that she just died now. Former reporter turned to general. Yep.
メトセラか。教えてくれませんか、バーベム教。一体体を乗り継いでまであなたがやりたかったことって何ですか？
この娘は喜んでその体を捧げてくれたよ。
そりゃどうも。で、バーミリオンもシステムの一部だったってわけですか？
あれも D も全ては保険だよ。さして役には立たなかったがね。
Essentially, all the people we saw in the flashback, not flashback, the one episode that takes place in the past at the castle with all the kids.
ムーの世界に私があった時、私が作り上げたものだ。当然だろ？
何百年前の話です。何千年かな？
何万年だったかな。それだけ待ったのだよ。カトゥーンの時代が終わる時、ラーゼフォンシステムがこの世界に現れる約束の日、2012年12月28日を。
Oh, the Aztec calendar thing. No, I guess wrong right off the bat. Mayan calendar. I thought it was Aztec.
あの二人次第だよ。私はただシステムを作っただけだ。
まるで神様のような言い草ですな。
その通りだよ。この世界は私のシステムで今動いている。その行き着く先を見届けるのは創造主の特権というものだろ。
Sure, if you're the architect of the Matrix, maybe. I incorrectly guessed how important Lord Behem would be. Oh, the two people hit by the beam.
あなたがいなければよかった。あなたがいなければ、あの子はここまで苦しまずに済んだのよ。あなたが外の世界を見せなければ。
違います。私はただ。
あの子を愛してたのは私だけでよかったの。あの子に苦しみを与えたのは私の責任なの。あの子を作り出してしまった私のね。だから私はあの子に全てを与えるつもりだった。あの子の定めを支えてあげられるのは。
This is the same room that we saw in his, like,
なのに
weird memory flashback thing he had, like, halfway through the show.
あなたがいる世界を、あなたとの世界を。私はもうあの子と苦しみを分かち合うことができないの。それはあの子が望まなかったから。悔しいけれど、あの子が望んだのは消したはずの遠い思い出。さっさと行きなさい。そんなにあの子と一緒に苦しみたいんだったら一緒に苦しんであげて。それができるのはあなただけよ、はるかちゃん。息子を頼みます。
おばさま、私。
Right, but where do you actually exist right now, is my question.
急ぎなさい。
おばさま。ありがとう。行ってきます。あなたによ。
もしもし。
She calling from the other side?
私よ。あのさ、あのね、この気持ちなんだろう。私、あなたに伝えたい。私の気持ちを。あなたが大好きです。
めぐみ。
伝えたい。
Oh, come on.
伝えたかった。あなたに知ってほしかった。本当の私を大好きだよ。
朝日奈。
I mean, that one at least he knew. What,
お前はムー
too late?
だが、お前は戦友だ。かけがえのない仲間だ。
エルフィーさん。
僕も君と同じだったんだ。普通に接してくれる人がいた。
Oh yeah, the guy you killed
僕は人と繋がっている
for no reason.
君にもいるだろ。
いないよ、そんな人。
気づいてないだけだよ。
怖がらないで。人々の思いに耳を傾けて。
Yeah, I don't think that guy's gonna forgive you. Here, well, maybe he'll say something about being friends with you before, but... Okay, we're just going through everything.
会いたい。あなたに会いたい。
はるか。
I say, what's it mean in the universe that you created, where everything is going your way? The phone rings out of your control. Yeah, by the way, this is still going on. Hey, you remember Reika, don't you?
そうか、そうだった。僕は君とここで。
私も受け入れなくちゃいけなかったんだよね。受け入れます、あなたたちを等しく。なくしたものが見つかったのね。
ようやく取り戻した。
Who is actually still alive right now?
そして君を。
神なくよかったわね、あやと。
Sorry, I said Reika,
寛容
'cause
と調和と融合。
obviously.
そして光は無限の歓喜に包まれ、かくして世は音に満たされる。
That's what she looked like when she was younger. Legitimately, I feel like the smartest thing I could possibly do is just stay silent and pretend I know what's going on most of the time. But seriously, who is still alive right now for realsies? A world suffused with sound. Oh. Time to end 10,000 years of life. Say this, I do not remember any of this. Wow, symbolism. So they had a kid? Oh, Quan. Quan is a kid.
クオンも元気よ。元気すぎて困っちゃうぐらい。何また来たの？何よ、そのお兄さん独り占めって。
And future cat, I guess.
ないでしょ。この間は学会だったんだから。パパもうすぐ助教授になる。
And that other guy who was always in his bathrobe for most of the show.
うるさいわね。で、いつこっち来るの？
Aw. I called that wrong. It's not the guy I thought it was. Apparently we're in the...
できたのね。長かったわね。
ああ、長かった。
おめでとう。あ、ほら。
So is this if the Tokyo thing hadn't happened, or is Quan from a future where they just lived happily ever after in a normal life?
誰なの？
知ってるくせに。
もう一度聞かせて。
この子はね。
I feel like what I maybe should have done was I should have had like a bottle of ketchup here, so that when he says, "You know who that is," I should have just like exploded ketchup on my face and just been like dead for like the next 5 minutes or whatever of the recording, and then just did like a record scratch, cut to static for like another 10 seconds, end video. As though my head had exploded and I just let the video keep running. Conceivably, it's the only way you can end something like this. Oh, and hey, just like with Dalos recording, the overlay becomes the video. God, it's such a good show, though. This is one of those where I have to admit, like, even though I'm not smart enough to follow a lot of the shit here. And this is one of the shows where I really did need an audience to help me out. And I wish they were here to do so. It's a really good show regardless because the emotion is there. Regardless of the intellectuality of the show, the emotion can be felt regardless.
ごめん、邪魔するつもりはなかったんだ。君があんまり絵になってたもんだから。
え？見せて。
え？あ、うん。
へえ、うまいのね。
君、ここの人？
東京から来たの。
僕も東京から。親父が遺跡調査でこの島に。それの手伝い。
おじもそうよ。
Did we ever cover his dad?
工藤さんの姪御さんって君？
ええ。
I don't remember if we covered his dad, though that would have been 26 months ago.
神名綾人です。
私、三島遥です。
Sorry, right there at the end. I mean, and that's how two of them met when she said her name, thus giving you the information of who Reiko is copying the form of the entire time. Felt my heart drop a little bit. It's like, oh no, that's the end of the love story, sort of. The fact we have 2 OVAs and a movie still to get through. Although those are only going to recapture everything we've seen. There's an element 1 of hitting the end of the show and trying to figure out the meaning of everything being presented to you. But there's also the added level of, again, what I was talking about before, the emotionality of the characters. It still hits through. Granted, it's hitting you through like a molasses of meaning and understanding, but the punch is still coming through. And in that, the same thing that I talked about this morning when I was recording Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, we're 1 episode from the end, which is the sadness, though, of also knowing that the character journey that you're on is over, kind of, right? I already said we got 3 more things to cover. But that's basically it. The story is done. What we've seen is only going to be recontextualized and given back to us again. And otherwise, what do you have left other than to say goodbye to these characters? And that's always the saddest thing for me. Especially in shows that we like, right? Sorry, I was going to think of a name of a show that I didn't like, and even though there are shows that we've done on the channel that I haven't liked, they're not immediately coming to my mind, because obviously I've given them no brain space. Even High Card, a show that we didn't like so much that we actively stopped 1 episode before the end, had some interesting characters that are kind of sad that they didn't get to full fruition, right? Well, these are characters that I've enjoyed the entire way through. Again, I watched this show back when it first came out, so my memory of everything that happened here is a good 20 plus years separated. That said, though, I still remember Megumi, right, as the girl who just never gets close to achieving the love that she wants to get. Hikaru is a name that I constantly forgot. I remember the character, Even going in with Griffin the first time, I knew that the woman in the plane was the girl that fell in love with him before being separated by the dome that had a weird effect on time. And I was always down for that separated by time love story. I forgot the other girl's name. The one in the most epic anime scene ever. She's writing down how she loves him, and it's being painted all over the city lights as he's destroying the dolem, which is then connected to her, which is killing her at the same time she's professing her love. Like, all of these things I remember from the story. For 20-something years, they've been in my head. Like, I'm remembering them to you now, and you have to know that those episodes I'm describing and the things I'm talking about are over 2 years ago we started watching this, right? So those are from 2 years ago. So knowing how shit my memory is, you have to know that I'm still remembering things from 2 years ago and from 20 plus years ago. That's how much this sat in my head. That's also why I've said that, to me, this show is better than Evangelion. Especially now that I've watched Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, and know what Evangelion could have been. So, double sadness for that one on me. But I remember the characters of this more fondly. Like Asuka and Rei and whatever the main character's name is from Evangelion. I don't remember them with the same affection as I do for the love story that takes place here, even though it goes off the rails when it comes to understanding for me by the end. So yeah, I really do enjoy this. Again, there might be an element that someone's going to post on like years from now when the video has been on the channel forever. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. If I haven't said this already, I am recording this live, and of course, Phil Fisher is in the chat. So it's ironic that I'm looking at his thing where he says I might post something in the Discord about it, and I'm like, "What's the main character of Evangelion?" And Phil Fisher's already made the joke, "Congratulations, Shinji." And I'm like looking at that, and I'm like, "What's the main character of Evangelion?" And totally, that's how drowned in the molasses of the meaning of the episode I am, that I'm looking at the name Shinji, and Phil Fisher has to tell me again the main character's name of Evangelion is Shinji, 2 posts below that. Should have gone with the ketchup explosion out of the head. But yeah, that said, I think the main point that I was on is the sadness of finishing a show. And especially a show that you know in no world is anything going to come new from it, right? This isn't like, God, I can't remember the new show. I can't remember anything anymore. The show where the space princess comes down to Earth to either destroy it or conquer it, I can't remember, and the guy falls in love with her, or she falls in love with the guy, or they get married, so whatever it is. That one got remade recently. Ranma 1/2 got remade recently. These are older shows with newer versions, right? I guess my only hope in this aspect is Magic Knight Rayearth, which is getting a new thing. Macross is getting a new thing. There was something else. Symphogear? I think there was something rumored about Symphogear getting a new thing. Urusei Yatsura. Yeah, that's right. I think I even mentioned this before. Urusei Yatsura, I think, is the second anime I'd ever seen. Not the show. I went on a big old search trying to figure out the second anime movie I'd ever seen. Literally, the movie that came on. Anybody who's seen the channel knows that I did Galaxy Express 999. The night that I watched Galaxy Express 999, which was, by the way, the first anime movie I'd ever seen, probably the first anime I'd ever seen, a second thing came on right after it. And it turns out, through a long amount of searching and trying to figure it out, was Urusei Yatsura, the second movie. Beautiful Dreamer, or something like that. Because there's very specifically a whole thing about everybody in the town vanishing overnight. And they get like a jet, and they fly the jet outside of the city, and they look down, and the city is just sitting on the back of a giant turtle going through space. It's a whole thing. Everyone keeps telling me you're talking about Discworld. No, as it turns out, it was Urusei Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer, whatever it's called. So, that is the second anime movie I'd ever seen. And now, hey, it's back again, even though I never saw the first movie, or the show, or the remake, as it turns out. Anyway, I am on a huge ramble here. To bring it back so that we can wrap this up at some point. The sadness of finishing a show, right? This was the last episode, and though we're not done, I'm already starting to feel the sadness of not being able to see these characters again. I mean, even though I was only able to see them essentially once a month anyway, knowing that I was coming back to it every month was kind of a comfort, right? And now they're going to be gone. Though, to be fair, as though I was asking all throughout the episode, who's actually still alive? And then we re-wrapped around to what seems to me, my interpretation, and I'm an idiot though, so a world wherein they didn't get sucked into this whole Mu conflict thing, and they just went on with their lives, and they fell in love and got married, and apparently graduated the same school together, and then had a daughter that looks like a baby version of Quan, and apparently is also named Quan. Like, we don't know what happens to the other characters. I guess there was no, like, love triangle with Megumi in this new future. Either way. Either way, I'm on a ramble. As I said, we're probably going to be watching the movie version sometime in the middle of next month, or by the time you see this. Say March. I'll just say March. And we'll cover most of those thoughts there. And we'll figure out where we go after that. So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.